Steve, what do we know about Mr. Big Shot, as they call him, and that nickel short position at his company?
Yeah, you don't get that kind of nickname being meek, right? I mean, those in the mining space in China are quite big, larger-than-life characters. I've not met Xiang Guangda, who we're talking about here, but his reputation obviously precedes this story. Essentially what we know, and of course we all know about the nickel prices of the last couple of days shooting up, the futures up 250% in 2 days before the LME, of course, suspended at least until March 11th, trading in those nickel futures. It rose above $110,000 a ton. And what we do know is, according to sources, that, Mr. Xiang, who essentially runs Qingshan Holdings, is on the hook for a big margin bill. Obviously, he's built a massive short position in nickel futures, and exact scale of his losses are unclear, but sources are saying that Qingshan's short position on the LME is in the region of about 100,000 tons of nickel, or larger, actually, when you take into account those positions through intermediaries that could equal about $2 billion of daily losses if we're looking at the peak of those prices in the last couple of days. Now, Xiang has spoken, according to local media in China, Yitai, essentially saying that the company is sound, it's a good Chinese firm, and that they have not found any problems with its nickel trading. Now, as we just heard from Sophia, our reporter on this, she like me, are very interested in this story and how it's being played out behind the scenes, and the essential looking at the financials of this company perhaps could keep it out of the realm of Archegos collapse because of its $42 billion revenues in the latest reporting years and $1.1 billion in net profit.
And Steve, I guess the next question here would be, and there was some news on this too yesterday, that China was asking its banks, check your exposure. What is that like? What's the likely impact to the banks at this point? I mean, do we have any more information than what's public information right now?
Well, what we've heard is that at least two of the big state-owned banks have had emergency meetings within the last 24 hours, late Tuesday, and we're hearing that the government is asking the biggest banks and also some of the bigger SOEs to report the extent of their exposure to derivatives contracts. So they're doing those that due diligence, obviously. And of course, this is, after these wild swings embroiled the China Construction Bank unit, CCBI Global Markets, which we have heard as well through sources that CCBI has paid its outstanding margin calls on the LME. So, as I said, at least two of the banks, I would assume even more of the big four or big five banks, are having internal discussions as they have to report back to the government on their derivatives positions.